Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So today I wanted to talk about hardware unboxed. And I've got a question from a viewer about lower FPS that people used to play at 50 FPS 4K and they were thought that is good results. And their opinion is like they have very strong opinion that 60 FPS is low FPS, not like normal. This is low FPS. And for them, it's not even good for a desktop. And I understand, I know where they're coming from. But guys, the way they are talking, and this might be a shocker for you, but I'm not a native English speaker. So the way to talk to me or to talk to us, like, you know, like we don't want to try to shame, but it's like saying no offense, but if you poor. It's like when somebody says like that, no offense, or we don't try to shame, I'm just holding my chair, like being ready to be shamed, but I shouldn't make a fuss about this because I got warned. So maybe it's not nice to actually have a response to that, you know, because you are warned that you will be shamed. I don't know. Maybe it's just my feeling. So I have a little bit hard time to agree with them. Of course, this is their opinion, but the hard statement is not just an opinion, but it's like their opinion is presented as a fact, undisputable. And that's what I really bit don't like. Anyway, let's have a listen. Let's have a listen about the 60 FPS.
But 1080p 144 hertz is $150 or less. You can get it for $120 at times these days. It's very affordable. And of course, some people, you know, even $120 can be too much. I understand that, but the majority of people buying a monitor right now are buying a high refresh rate.
Yeah,
monitor.
I'm not scoffing at people not spending money, right? Like,
Yep.
if you can't afford it, that's fine. We're not trying to shame. If you're limited to 60 hertz, we're not trying to shame you or go, oh my God, what are you doing with your life? That's not the case at all. This is a complete money is removed from the equation. We're purely talking about from a technology standpoint. And the difference between 60 hertz and 144 hertz cannot be overstated enough. Like, it just cannot be. Like, forget about gaming.
The desktop apps
Like,
are way better.
If for some reason my desktop reverts back to maybe after a driver update or something goes wrong and it reverts back to 60 hertz on a panel, the second I move the mouse, it's like, whoa, what is going on here? And then you change it to 144 and it's like, oh, that's so much better. Like, and we're talking about just desktop usage. I pick if I jump on a computer with a 60 hertz display, the second I move the mouse, it's just, it's crazy. So from a technology standpoint, 60 hertz is horrible, 144 is miles better. But of course, if you can't afford it or you don't want to upgrade yet, we're not shaming you or saying, what are you doing? It's just, they're two different things. One is what you have and what you can get, and the other one is just...
So guys, I have two things. Like I said, this is their opinion, and that's fine, especially for Steve. Like Steve is playing multiplayer games, so you need to be competitive, and high response time helps you to be like better at the game. Yes, I understand. But Team is a single player game, and they were mentioning how cheap the monitors are. You buy high refresh rate, it's just a few dollars difference. You know, the cheap monitor is 120 and high refresh rate is 150. Okay, that's true. But what kind of PC you need to have to drive that? And imagine driving the newest AAA games at 1440p, 144 FPS. It's not just the monitor, it's just everything else. And yes, they've got access to 4090, to the top of the line PC parts, but not everybody is willing to spend that money. It's not about even, you know, afford to pay that kind of money, but being responsible with the spending, you know, to pay $2,000, $3,000 every 2 years to keep up. So anyway, you know, the words are cheap. So I understand where they're coming from. And I agree that using a mouse at 60 FPS feel way worse than 120 or 144 FPS on desktop, especially using a cheap mouse. The better the mouse, the better it feels, because cheap mouse are like, you know, like stuttery. It feels like stuttery. The camera movement in games is the same. So good gaming mouse changes the experience. But for people like me, I have my opinion. I'm using a gamepad because I like Japanese games. They design for controllers. And for me, for example, 60 FPS is a sweet spot. And when I'm using a controller, not mouse, yes, I agree, with mouse, the more the better. But with a controller, I don't feel any difference above 60 FPS. And it can save me and everybody who is using a controller and adjust to 60 FPS, it can save a lot of money. And for many people, 60 FPS, it's the sweet spot, because it's becoming crazy expensive to expect more than 60 FPS, especially from the newest AAA games. Like, who gonna run Starfield at 120, regardless of the resolution? What kind of CPU you need to have 120 FPS? Or The Last of Us, or the Jedi Survivor? So let's jump into some games, yeah? As you can see on the bottom, it's not the end of the video. So let's try some games. Okay guys, so The Last of Us, using a controller, 30 FPS. Guys, it's fine. Yeah, maybe a camera, when you move in camera, it's a little bit of blur, motion blur, but it's fine. It's cinematic experience anyway. Movies have 24 FPS. You just don't have fast camera movement. It's fine. It's fine, you don't need 4090 guys, it's fine. Seriously. I wonder how many people play this game at 120 FPS. What kind of PC you need to play at 120? It's absolutely fine.
I gotta sell new papers. They shouldn't give us any
You
staff.
can play 4K.
Just play cool.
It looks great. Guys, it's fine.
There you go.
It's fine. But check the VRAM usage.
Got the day off.
14 gigabytes of VRAM.
All right, move on through. Thanks.
Get out of here! Go! Close it up! Fireflies! Fucking shoot them! They're running!
Come on, let's get out of here. Joel, let's go. Come on.
Okay, let's jump to another game, guys. Guys, The Witcher, maximum settings, 30 FPS. Yeah, when you move the camera, it's a bit blurry. I agree. But it's fine. You can play. You can play the game. VRAM usage over 12 gigabytes of VRAM. At 4K. Of course, nobody play at 4K. Nobody. And even if you have 4K TV or screen, everybody turns FSR or DLSS on. What means DLSS or FSR quality, it's 1440p. You turn balance, it's 1080p, realistically. That's the native resolution. Nobody play at native 4K. So yeah, there is that. Looks perfect, looks beautiful. Such an old game, looks beautiful. And you can play at 30 FPS. You don't need 4090. Guys, let's check Resident Evil 4. Max settings, 30 FPS, 30 Hz. And just demo, you know, just move around. When you're moving around and you don't move the camera too fast, it's fine. And it looks beautiful. And you need half the power of the PC at 30 Hz. Of course it's not perfect, of course. But is it impossible to play? It is possible. It is possible. Absolutely fine. No problem. 17, almost 17 gigabytes of VRAM. It's fine. Okay, let's check another game, guys. So guys, Elden Ring at 30 FPS, so I slash FPS into half, and this game is hard lock at 60 FPS. You cannot have more unless you mod the game, but normally you cannot play more. What would it mean? It mean you wouldn't enjoy the game? And anyway, at first 30 FPS of course feels horrible. You shouldn't play the game like that, but I'm just showing you the point. You adjust so quickly, especially with the controller. You adjust so quickly, and it's just fine. Just fine. The hardest boss in the game, new game plus 7, so the hardest difficulty, the hardest boss. I'm high level as well, but she can still one-shot you easily. So I'm getting a lot of buffs, and by the way, you can see a good strat against her. Very, very good strat. So, eat lobster, drink a bottle with extra defense, and let's just kill her. Buffs. More buffs. More buffs. With a good strat, she's not hard. What's happening? I would be dead without all these buffs. Oh. Guys, I messed up big time in this fight, but still, easy peasy. 30 FPS is not a problem. You adjust so quickly, I can see on video. So it's 30 FPS on my side, plus all the slowdowns with the OBS, with the YouTube. You can still enjoy the game. You don't need 4090, guys. You don't. You don't. Of course 60 FPS is better. Of course 120 is even better. But don't get trapped into that. Don't get convinced that you need to spend $3,000 on a PC to enjoy the game, guys. And guys, I've got Returnal here. Maximum settings, ray tracing on, everything on, 30 FPS. One of the games that probably shouldn't be played at 30 FPS, but guys, it's still possible. It's one of my favorite games ever. I love this game. I know it's not for everybody, but I love. And by the way, I have a question. Check the VRAM usage and allocation. It's using what? Less than 11 gigabytes of VRAM, but allocates almost 23 gigabytes. How does it work? Would it be any different if I had 12 gigabytes of VRAM? What's the benefits of allocating more? Does it run better if I have more VRAM? Can somebody let me know? Because that's fascinates me. Why, is there any benefit of having more VRAM even if the game doesn't exactly needs that? Because does it need 12 or does it need 23? How much this game needs? What's the benefits of allocating so much VRAM? Does it run any better with that? Would it run worse on 12 gigabytes? That's on a side note. But anyway, 30 FPS. I could absolutely play this game. On a controller? Yes. On a mouse? No way. Of course, no way. On a mouse, I would like 120. You can save a lot of money actually playing on a controller. But yeah, guys, let me know in the comments below what you think. I wouldn't ask you even if 30F is playable, because for most people it's probably not. It is for me, but is 60 FPS okay? Do you think that 60 FPS is low frame rate or it's just fine? Or yeah, actually I'm curious. So yeah, guys, thank you for watching and see you later. And oh, by the way, don't forget to like and subscribe, because I would be grateful. That would be awesome. Thanks, guys. See you later.